Hello and welcome back to another episode of Time Bomb, the Kylie album Showdown podcast. I am joined once again with my good friends Alan and Garry. How are you two doing this fine evening?
Hello. I'm always impressed that you can both say the name of the podcast straight off the bat. Like, do you practice this at home or something? Kylie,
think I just
Time Bomb. Kylie, the album. I can't even say it. Well done.
I sometimes
couldn't say it at the
say
beginning. We had to do it 5 times the first time I tried it. So no,
I just find that I just start saying it and going, I think I'm saying it correctly, but if not, I'm just going to say it with enough confidence that it sounds correct.
Yeah. Get away with it.
Wing it till we win it. I'm good, Elliot. Thank you for asking. I can't believe it's the final battle of round 2.
It is.
And it's a big battle tonight, so I'm excited. Yeah. How are you, Alan?
I'm good. I'm very excited as well. I'm quite nervous about tonight because we have brand new and then classic going up against each other, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one. Whatever happens, but I'm interested to see who gets what.
After tonight, we've only got 3 episodes left. So although it feels like it's been going on for a long time, we're not far off. We're not far off the Showdown, whatever Elliot said it was called at the start of the episode, the Kylie album Showdown.
Yes.
Knowing what is the best Kylie album of all time, according to us geniuses, obviously. And you know,
do you think we should tell everybody what we might do with the final?
We could put it out there.
Whether we give them a tidbit.
Well, there's probably 2 things we need to talk about. One is the fact the last episode was a bit of a sham with copyright, and we had to take it down. So, to show everyone that we are completely winging this, we had to take the episode down of the last one. So we could share our idea, but who the hell knows if we'll actually pull it off?
I think it'd be a wonderful idea, just purely because I absolutely love chaos anyway. So, bring it on. So, I mean, what can go wrong? What could possibly
What is it?
go
What's the idea,
Everything.
Alan? Tell us.
Well, we're going to do it live. We think we're going to do the final live. Yeah, we're thinking about it. One half of me is like, are you fucking crazy? And then the other half is like, well, look, what? Why not? So we're contemplating just to see if we can make it work. But after last episode, you're right. We had technical hell, didn't we? Between Spotify turning on me. I mean, I've given them £13 a month for the last 5 years. Like, give me a break. So, it was a bit of a nightmare. Well, it was a nightmare for you, Garry, because you do all the tech stuff.
Well, this was going to be my point. As the producer of this podcast, who's learning as I go, and it basically has no idea what I'm doing on a weekly basis. Yeah, why not throw a live episode in?
I think that will probably be a win.
Let's see.
We'll see how it goes.
But yeah. If people do want it, I mean, like, if you are interested in the live final, like, let us know in the comments. This is the Kylie Album Showdown podcast. We have been chipping away through the vast discography of Kylie, and we are in the final episode of the second bracket of albums. So we just have 2 albums left, and then when we will come to the end of our discussion, we will decide which one proceeds to the final.
You will decide.
Semi-finals. Well, I will, but and then. One will progress, and then one will be chucked into the Kylie Time Bomb bin. And also, we will have some special guests of the podcast to talk about said upcoming albums along the way as well. So that'll be exciting as well.
Yeah.
Well, they've got a lot to live up to because we had Flowers on the last one and Eurovision style presenting. Well, looking forward to seeing those.
Shall I flip the coin, flipping the Kylie coin to decide who goes first?
You choose.
Yeah, okay, I'll choose. What went good for me last time? I'm gonna go with heads.
Really want to be first.
It is tails.
This is the first time I've got to go first in about a year.
All right then.
So
shall we
it's
spin?
Tension versus Rhythm of Love. I get to go first.
Yes.
I get to spin first and go first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
Ready?
Are we ready? We going?
Let's do this.
If we could do a drum roll, it'd make it even more dramatic. But I think this
Can
is
you hear that?
one of
No?
Alan for sound effects. Well done.
Like the faintest drum roll in the distance.
Production quality through the roof tonight. Well done. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's do this.
Oh, I got Rhythm of Love.
Yeah, got Rhythm of Love. What the hell? Well, I needn't have bothered reading this for the past hour then, eh? Bloody hell. Forget that. An hour of my life Never getting back. Anyway, go on.
Brilliant. Well, I guess we should start with Garry and take it away with Rhythm of Love.
So I had totally planned I was getting tension tonight. Like, I don't know what, I just thought in the stars I was going to get tension. I'm not going to get it, but I'm not sure I'm as prepared. So this is Garry winging it, but this is an album of my early era of Kylie. So okay, I'm gonna go for it, and I have some ideas. So we talked about this in round one. We know it had the massive 4 single streak of Better Than You Know, Step Back in Time, What Do I Have to Do, and Shocked. Shocked was a remix. It had Jazzy P on it. I met Jazzy P Birmingham on the tour this year. It was fantastic. If you haven't heard that story, go back to one of the episodes in round one and listen.
Oh no, tell us again, because we have not heard this story yet. Okay.
So just gonna get a restraining order, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, well, actually, we should share in the podcast. I have DM'd her a few times and asked her to come on, and guess what? She hasn't responded. So there you go.
Well, after you assaulted her at the concert, she's probably thinking, "Oh God, not this guy again."
Not him again.
Probably got your number blocked, I imagine. Yeah.
So 4 massive singles. Like, this album can sell itself, to be honest, and could deserve to go through on this, on the fact of these 4 amazing singles. And actually something that, so Colin, I'm going to bring him on in a second. I've not watched Colin's video yet, but he did share something else on text the other day, which he wants credit for, but I'm going to steal his extra selling tidbit, that every tour since this album has had one of those 4 singles on it, if not more. So if you think about actually even in the current tour, we have Better Than You Know, we have What Do I Have to Do, and we have Shocked. So these 3 of the 4 singles, always these singles have stayed really, really central to her live act as well. They're career singles, right? They're really amazing, amazing songs. What was different about this album was it was, as she was kind of maturing, we talked about this before, she was going into more of her taking control era. She had more control of her image and her look. But I picked out 2 songs that I think actually are album tracks, but that really stand out to me as songs that could have been singles and equally have stood the test of time, and show how strong this album was. This album is kind of been in 2 halves. So there's the songs that effectively Stockakin and Waterman wrote and produced as normal. And then also there was some songs that Kylie went and worked on her own with. And actually, I've decided tonight to park them. I'm not going, Alan, I know you're going to be surprised. I'm not going down the route of looking at the American songs, because actually, I think for the period in time that it was, the Stockakin and Waterman songs are the ones that have stood the test of time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna focus on them. I'm going to say the name of a song, and I want to see your reaction when I say this song, because I think it's a classic. I think this can only get better.
I don't know if it's a classic, but it's definitely the 5th best song on the album.
Great sale there, Alan. Thanks for that. It's the 5th best song on the album.
It makes sense to anybody. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, but that's as good as it gets for that, because look, you're going up against the other 4, aren't you? Which are stone cold classics.
But I think what they did is they continued the form at the time, which was Kylie progressing from, I think, what was we kind of talked about this before, where like album 1 and 2 was more bubble gum pop, and she was moving into more, which was at the time, and actually a precursor to really her hitting the dance scene later on with KM94 and stuff. Within Rhythm of Love, she kind of did start with dance. And, there was one thing I've watched, to jump back a little bit, where she talked about where the reference came from for Better Than You Know. And Pete Waterman had said to her, like, what are you listening to at the moment? Like, what's your style? And she was listening to Kathy Dennis and D-Mob, Come and Get My Lovin', which actually has a bit that goes, whoa, which
it does,
when you put it side by side, is exactly where it's a total tune. And it's like, hello, she then wrote Can't Get Out of My Head, which was kind of a whole 360. But the reference point at the time was the dance music of the time of that era. And I think things can only get better, kind of continues that. So what we're going to do this week, because, copyright police, and we don't want to get chucked off Spotify again, is we're now going to play Elliot a little clip of that, but we're not going to play it on the podcast because we don't want to get in trouble again. But we will post it on our socials. So go to our social channels if you want to have an idea what we're talking. Elliot, for your listening ears only, exclusive to you, I give you exclusive gifts and never gives you exclusive gifts. Here's an exclusive gift from me to you. This is thing is going to get better from Rhythm of Love.
Quite
well, that was just poppers. That was poppers o'clock. I mean, get the poppers out, get your tits out, Elliot, and let's go dancing.
I mean, now I hear it again, and I listened to it a lot the last time we went through this. It really was a bit of a step change, wasn't it? For sure.
It really was.
And even more dancey than the singles, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And I just noticed as we were listening to that, the intro was 45 seconds long. I mean, some songs are only 45 seconds long these days. I mean, these were classics back in the day.
Looking at you, Kim Petras. You know?
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but I do know.
She loves a 1 minute song, you know. Here's a minute long song for you guys. But can I just say about the singles, and because I was reading in this autobiography about Kylie, it's a story of all her records, basically. I think with Stop Cake in the Water at the time, we've spoken about this, haven't we? They actually were about to enter terminal decline, weren't they?
Yeah.
Around 1990. So it was so surprising for them to reach a creative peak with Kylie at this point in time, when in fact, if you look at it, they were spiraling into the law of diminishing returns. And yet they still managed to come up with a batch of really great songs. So I think it goes to show the strength of her character and her input, that she, unlike Sanita, Sonia, Jason, sadly, I know you're a fan of Jason, sadly, you know, they just all fell by the wayside by 1990. It was all over for them. Although Kylie was also going into a decline sales-wise, she was making, at that point, the best music of her that she'd made so far.
She was. And I think what was different is that she was changing things up, and that's what kept her maybe not relevant, because she, as you said, she wasn't selling, but she was keeping in the media. She wasn't dropping off the radar.
Yeah.
And then to back it up with songs that actually were, you know, they were still pop, but they were veering towards more mature Kylie, which I think is you know, the right thing for her to have done at the time, and really helped get her to where she was.
They've aged incredibly well, though, haven't they? Too. You have to.
We all just listened to that track and we're just like hands in the air, right?
But they're 35 years old, and I think Out of the Devil You Know, I will say, just never seems to age. It's like a fine wine. Production, maybe you could say, it's very of its time, but the song never aged a day. And you're right. No. You haven't been to a Kylie gig where she hasn't done it.
Always. She even did it once as a jazz version on this tour. Do you remember that?
I think the gays would riot if she did a gig and then didn't do Better the Devil You Know. They'd be like, listen, give me back my money. So, yeah, it's one of those things to still 35 years later be able to go out and go, here's this career record I made when I was 21 years old. Like, it's pretty incredible.
It is. And someone else who is of a similar age to us, who was around at the time, is a lovely person I know called Colin. And Colin's done a bit of a video for us to sell his albums.
Hi, I'm Colin, and I'm here to sell to you the Rhythm of Love album, Kylie's third and probably most difficult album to get right, having followed the pop bubblegumness of Soar with Kylie and Enjoy Yourself. The album was released in November of 1990. Previous to release of the album, the two singles, Better the Devil You Know and Step Back in Time, were released in May and then September. The album was recorded in 1990 towards the end of the Enjoy Yourself tour. She recorded 3 songs, which all appear on the album. Better the Devil You Know, which was premiered during the Enjoy Yourself tour. What Do I Have to Do? And Things Can Only Get Better. And it really shows that was that level of maturity. She was 21 at the time. She was dating Michael Hutchins. She was heavily influenced by London club culture. And she's made that no secret that she wanted this to be influenced and shown within the album. Mike Stock has openly said he wasn't really sure about that, so didn't quite know what to do and how to put that into it. But eventually, I think that came through with Let's Get To It, much more trance, dance, club influenced. But for this album, it's still got that element of pop which is what we all wanted, but it also shows that we were growing up as much as Kylie was growing up. So she was growing with her audience. In a simple way, there's 5 words which sell this album, and that is Better the Devil You Know. Quite simply, an iconic single, an iconic transfer from curly-haired bubblegum perm pop Kylie to a more mature woman. And by doing that, she's kind of said to her audience, it's okay, I get it, I get you, we're growing up, I'm growing up, I'm in a new relationship, in a more mature relationship. She'd dumped Donovan, or the relationship had broken down, and she was dating Hutchins, who was a bit of a rock god to Australians, and a little bit, okay, is this right? Is this wrong? Should Kylie be with someone like Michael Hutchins? But at the end of the day, that relationship proved because he basically said to her, it's okay to be you. It's okay to do what you want to do. Take control. And that's clearly evident with Rhythm of Love. The tracks on there are completely different to anything that she's done before. Like I said, Better the Devil You Know, absolute stonker of a song, still performed today. You can hear it played anywhere in any bar. It's the song that's played at GAY at 12:30 every night. 35 years after release, this song is epic. You look at the other tracks that are on the album and you go, yeah, okay. 4 single run of absolute epicness. Better the Devil You Know, Step Back in Time, and the first introduction of remix singles as well, with Shocked and What Do I Have to Do? A complete departure from anything that we'd seen before, but also cementing Kylie as a true pop diva who knew her audience, who were listening to her songs, who knew that we were growing up, who knew that we were growing up. And let's just be honest, the 5-minute version of Shocked, absolutely unreal. Every track on this album stands out. Every track on this album, it was an absolute banger. It's all killer, no filler, as they say. Rhythm of Love, one of Kylie's best.
Love that.
Oh, that was brilliant.
I'm so jealous of that vinyl. I definitely don't have that vinyl on my connection. Colin, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to steal it from you, because if you weren't watching it, Colin had the Kylie Rhythm of Love vinyl in front of him. I love how what he wanted to say there was she was getting the D from Hutchins, but he didn't really say that.
He left out the word.
Basically,
he left out the word cock, didn't he?
Yeah. Colin, you didn't need to be so polite, but you sold the album bloody brilliantly and said a lot of the things that, we are already recognizing with this album. So, yay, Colin, well done. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
I have a little tidbit before you go on. Can I just say, because I was
go on, tell us more
about the Better the Devil You Know video. Apparently to get away from the clutches of Saw, he's right there, Colin, saying that they weren't happy with the direction maybe that she was going in with her personal life. So, she went off to Australia and made Better the Devil You Know in Australia and didn't tell anybody. And then just was like, hey, here's the video. But I think what's more interesting is that I can remember the press at the time going mental over how raunchy they said it was. But I mean, it's the tamest thing you've ever seen by today's standards. I mean, it's just like the latest. There's a scene where she's on the bed naked, I think, well, purportedly, we don't know whether she is or not, post-coital with a black man. Now, I think that in itself, you could say, oh, quite shocking. But I mean, it's nothing, is it? And then they were saying, I read a piece where it said, and her strap falls off her shoulder at one point. She's wearing a little black dress, but the strap just slips a bit. And that caused an absolute scandal. It was like, why isn't her top up? So I think she was really battling against it. So in retrospect, fair play to her, because she really was starting to take the reins then and saying, look, if I'm going to go down in flames, I'm going to go down doing it my way.
I heard a slightly different story about the video, that they knew it was definitely in Australia. They knew she was doing it. Whoever was styling it or whoever was in charge of the video was basically Stockgate and Waterman, or I think it might have been Pete Waterman, was bringing them going, do not do it. Like, do not let her do this. don't go down this road, and like basically saying like, we're this
That
is going to
could be
cause
true
shit.
as well,
And she was just like, I mean, who knows? These are all, what's the word, Alan? You're good at the words. What are the not? What's the word I'm trying to find in my head? Not an old wives' tale. It's an old myth. Is that it?
I think a lot of the mythology around it probably isn't true, because everyone has a different version, don't they? But I think what is true is, and what Colin said, is that this era is when we really see Kylie the pop star emerge from well, she'd been cocooned for 2 years and told what to do, and then she emerged.
There was another part that stood out to me that I wanted to share with you, Elliot, which was, roll forward a number of years. We've talked about this a few times on the pod, and there was the Anti-Tour, which was Kylie doing all the kind of B-sides and rarities. And I remember going to see it I saw it in Manchester and London, but in London, Pete Waterman was in the audience. So she did like a whole thing where she, recognized him was in the audience. What she actually said was, and I remember it really, really clearly, she was like, everyone thinks these songs are really easy and really just throwaway pop. We've had to just relearn them all as a live band. Like, kind of turn to all the band and were like, they're really hard to do. And all the bands were like, going like, praising him for like learning these actually really complex pop songs back in the day, but that everyone just thought was just really, really throwaway pop. And another one that I'm going to share you is from the Anti-Tour. So yet again, we're going to give you an exclusive viewing actually, and listening pleasure just for you. For everybody else, go to our socials. This I'm going to show Elliot is Always Find the Time, another album track, which for me is just, I love it. It's classic. It slaps. It's great. And it's from the Anti-Tour in Manchester, I think is the version I found on YouTube. Well, I just had goosebumps watching that. I was in the audience that night, and oh my God, that was just epic. Elliot, did you just love that? That was amazing, right?
It was very, very good.
Do you know what I'm trying to work out though? Because I'm just here, I'm being geeky again.
Come on.
I'm looking at the lyrics. Sorry, I'm not looking at the lyrics. I'm looking at the songwriting credits on Spotify, and it says written by Matt Aiken, Mike Stock, Pete Waterman, and Rick James. Who the fuck is Rick James?
No idea.
Was there a sample in that?
Maybe there was. I don't know. I've never known there was a sample.
I've never known. I don't know. I'm wondering. That will annoy me now and keep me awake at night to find out who he is.
Poor Alan's not sleeping tonight because he doesn't know who the fourth credit is on Always Find the Time. But that was, for me, I think, that's where I'm going to leave it tonight, Elliot. That was, another example. If you think about the songs you knew, the 4 songs that Colin talked about really, really well as well. And then we showed you tonight, things can only get better and Always Find the Time. Different, but still really epic songs. And if you think the performance we just showed you in Anti-Tours, that was 2012. So still there was a 20-year gap. And like, look how crazy the audience were at Manchester Academy that night. If she did that again, I'd still do the same reaction now. Like, I'd probably prolapse. There you go, Elliot. There is my sale. Rhythm of Love does not deserve to go in the time bomb bin. It is a classic. It should be in the final.
Okay. Well, thank you, Garry. That was brilliant. And we will move on and jump ahead or forward in time to Alan with Tension. So
33 years later. 33 years after all that. So we're straight into the future. First off, I'll show you these. My friend bought me these. These are a couple of singles for Tension, which I think goes down as one of my favorite Kylie Minogue songs ever. So let's talk about Tension. I think it was more than we could ever have really wished for when it came out, because with disco was one thing, but everything about disco, I think we loved it, but it was very muted because it was right in the middle of fucking Pano, wasn't it? So everything felt muted, no tour. It was just, everyone was like, oh, this is fantastic, but what do I do? I'm going to dance around at home on my own, which we did.
With Kylie Wine.
By the time Tension landed, I'll always remember you and I just with the chart position and her finally being in the top 10 again. We were like a pair of schoolgirls. It was just ridiculous, wasn't it?
It was 1990 all over again, Alan. That's why I love you.
We were literally like a pair of schoolgirls. Like, we couldn't quite believe it. But I think, leave the album aside, it's brilliant. We can go through some of the songs and stuff. But just a quick mention for Padam Padam, because, for her to have a single go top 10 in 2023, couldn't have wished for more. But I think it's just a great track, a really great track, very Kylie Minogue, really brilliant introduction. But I think the overarching thing about this entire 2 years for me is that it feels almost like a victory lap a little bit. even though I really hope it's not the end, because, normally a victory lap means you're thinking, I'm going to bugger off now. I've got my 90 million. I'll go and live in the Maldives. But she will clearly, hopefully, will make more music. But it just felt a bit like, here I am. This is me, a fully realized pop star coming off the back of another #1 album. And then the fact that she was of enough stature to go off and do a residency in a hotel in Las Vegas. So she was walking in really refined footsteps, but put her own stamp on it. Apparently, they built the nightclub just with the idea of having her to be the first opener.
Yeah.
And then, it just felt like there was a slight move in stature. And I think she also kicked it up a gear. We've spoken about this before, haven't we? How her vocals have just, look, she's not Celine Dion, but in her lane, she's really fucking good at what she does. I think with every album, she got better and better. We've listened to all the albums, haven't we? And every time I listen back to an album, and especially if you listen to it in sequence somewhat, you do really notice the strength. Her voice gets better and better and better every single time, right up to the Abbey Road sessions, which is when I think I really realized, actually, you know what? She's a really good singer and has a lovely pop voice. But with tension, great care and attention taken to the songs. It wasn't just like, here's an album to celebrate me being, nearly 40 years in the business. She actually went out and made what I think is one of her finest albums, without a doubt. I think I really don't dislike any of the songs on the album, but one of my favorites is Somebody to Love, which is, am I saying that right? I get confused with the Queen song. I mean, for that to be a bonus track, for me, I was like, what are you doing, Kylie? But I just love it when she does those mid-tempo ballads and she really allows her voice to soar and breathe a bit. And it was very contemporary for her, a little bit different from the rest of the album. I think as well, I mean, even before she announced the tour, now we all know the tour took a couple of years to come around because, again, COVID, everybody else filling up the stadiums and whatnot. And so it felt like that nice segue. The Vegas shows were kind of a step between the album and then the fact that I don't know why she didn't announce the tour for as long as she didn't, but we always felt like something's coming, didn't we? For a long time, we were like, she's gonna have to announce it soon. And then when she finally did, and then we got this show, which please don't tell me off again for not being there. I appreciate that I'm talking about a live show that I wasn't at, but I cannot tell you how many times I've watched clips online. I mean, I've probably seen the whole thing now. YouTube now can make you feel like you're at a gig. Half the time you can watch.
You weren't, Alan.
I know I wasn't. But to put on a show like that, but not only that, to then go around the world. Like, she hasn't done a world tour, I think, since, maybe Fever. I'm not really sure. Do you think? I mean, Aphrodite, you could maybe argue.
Yeah, Aphrodite more than Fever. Fever actually wasn't that global.
No.
It was really
very
limited.
Concentrated on the areas where she was big. Whereas
but Aphrodite was...
Yeah.
It was pared back so in America, it wasn't the fountains and stuff. And like some of the shows in China and stuff, and there was something, I can't remember what at the time, something had happened in China and they were playing really small venues.
Yeah.
But I think, by far, by a country mile, it was her biggest show in a long, long time.
Yeah. And then to go off and tour every corner of the globe. I was looking at some stats because I'm a massive geek. On X the other day, they have tour stats page. About sort of 95% of the shows were sold out.
Yeah.
They were 100% sold out. So this was a proper tour in places where I imagine she was walking on stage going, how am I doing this? Like, how am I doing this? At this stage in my career, to be able to do this, jaunt around the world and say to everybody, fucking hell, look at us, because Kylie fans like you, Garry, are the epitome of a Kylie fan. Like, when you go to the shows, you really feel a connection, and you've got that history as well. And I think she's a brilliant artist for being able to make the people who've come along for the ride feel really worthwhile. I think most of her fans will go to a show feeling like they almost know her. But then when she plays certain songs, she knows she's invoking memories in them from when they were kids and stuff. There's not a lot of artists can do that. Really, I think.
I think as well that she does that, but she now, because again, success of recent albums, she can mix the old and the new really, really well. So Tension songs really I know a lot of fans complained for quite a long time that her tours were becoming greatest hits tours, and she has to have the hits in there. But actually, some of the standout songs on the last tour were Tension songs because, and one that I won't be stealing your sale, but Good As Gone, which is from Tension 2, which Elliot put in the bin. Damn you, Elliot. That was a really great song. You did. Great song. And there's another song on the album that I really want you to say, Alan, and I'm not going to take words out of your mouth, but I really hope you're going to say it.
I know, yeah, I'm going to talk about Hold On To Now. and then I was going to
talk...
One. Is it Things We Do For Love? Yeah, I knew it was going to be one or the other. No, I mean, they're great. Hold On To Now is just brilliant. Really, shame there was no video for it because it deserves a video. But yeah, you're right. Things We Do For Love. Look, there's a whammy here from Padam Padam, Hold On To Now, Things We Do For Love, into Tension, and then into One More Time, which is one of my favorites. Like, it's a run there. It's just fantastic. The songs suit her and fit her voice, and they feel like her. This is what I've always loved about her. I don't think she's ever made an album where we've gone, oh, that's not her. Even though maybe the quality of the songwriting wasn't there, but she's never made a record where we've gone, oh, Jesus, where we've jarred and gone,
Jesus.
Oh. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Lord.
That was very Irish of you there, Alan. Oh, Jesus.
Do you know what I mean, though? I've never had that from her. And with this album, I felt like this is a complete work, like a huge effort, a great, really great album, a solid album. And, for Kylie fans, it was just a dream come true. But I think more in this campaign, it's about the tour. Like, that's going to go down in the annals as a real victory around the world for her, cementing the fact that she's now, she's not the queen of pop. Madonna's still alive, but she's the princess.
She's mother. She is mother.
Oh yeah, we can call her mother now. I think we can. We can call her mother. But let's hear from Matt and see what Matt has to say, because Matt has done the big up for Tension this week. So let's find out what Matt had to say.
Hey there guys, thanks very much for having me. Very happy to come out swinging for the Tension album because I just absolutely love this one. It's easily one of my top 3 favourite Kylie albums. Really enjoyed the single rollout for this one, starting with 10 out of 10, which I think sometimes we forget was actually first. Good fun little song and really well placed on the album towards the end, I think. And then of course we got the official lead single, which was Padam Padam, which I loved from the start. It's easily one of my favourites now, especially as a single. Great electro pop dance record, great video, great choreo. And I just loved that it really resonated with people and people were making a fuss of her again over that record. Obviously it was her first top 10 in this country in well over a decade. And I love that it kind of flew in the face of the ageism that's around a lot of female artists in the music industry these days, especially when it comes to kind of promotion on the radio, etc. So that was really nice to see. It was nice to see people loving her on a larger scale again. Tension as well, really good precursor to the album. And then our main event day came, and I like to pop my headphones in on album release days if I can and listen at midnight and bop around if applicable. And wow, was I bopping around to this one till the wee early hours. It's just a great album, really well crafted pop music, flows really well, got a nice mix of styles on there, makes you feel good, nothing particularly deep lyrically, but sometimes you don't need that, or often you don't need that. You just just want music to make you feel good, and it certainly does with me. It's got some nice introspective moments like Hold On To Now, and Hands was a nice surprise. Vegas High, another highlight. It's really nicely bookended with Story. Got some great bonus tracks in the form of Just Imagine and Somebody To Love, especially. Another particular highlight for me is You Still Get Me High, where you think the album's going to slow down a little bit, but then it just crescendos into this big high energy camp dance number. And if I only needed one reason to like this album, it would be for the songs Things We Do For Love, because not only is that one of my favorite Kylie songs now, but it's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just such a great song, great 80s vibes and a great outro. It just never fails to make me feel good. And that can be said of the album as well. I loved it all the way through from start to finish, right from the start. And I still bop around to it this day. I love popping a vinyl on in my front room and dancing around, and it never fails to give me a lift. And what more can you ask of music than just to lift you? And I think it'll be one of my favorites for a very long time. So yeah, it's just a great album, and I just remember everyone being obsessed with it when it came out. So I really love that for her. And I think the only shame about this album really is that we didn't really get a lot of it on tour. It was just like the first 4 songs, which is a shame. But hopefully we'll get more of it in the future to see live. And yeah, thanks for letting me waffle on about it for a couple of minutes. And take care, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, I do remember him. We met at Charlie XCX, I think. Yeah, I definitely met him.
All 3 of us know him. I worked at Matt too many years ago, let's just say 15, 20 years ago at Ticketmaster, we have talked shit about Kylie for literally decades, me and that man.
You can tell he likes her though. Yeah. You can tell he likes her.
And Elliot, you've been a friend for years as well, right?
I know, yes. We go to many, many gigs together. We've got a very good sort of like synchronization of quite a few artists that we like to go see together.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Kylie the most.
We've not. Oh no, we have seen Kylie together. Sorry, yes, I was just about to say I haven't, but yeah, he was there when I saw the Golden Tour at the arena.
He reminded me in that sale, Alan, of actually some songs that are on the album that I probably do let pass, and actually, like "You Still Get Me High" actually is really, really good. And Story is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And another kind of love letter to the fans, like Kylie likes to deliver every now and again. Well done, Matt. You reminded me of some really good things.
It's like, I think maybe more so than disco, but I can listen to Tension all the way through and not skip. I have songs that are better than others. There's no doubt about that with every album, of course, but it's a really, really unskippable album. I think if you're out and about, it's a concise 40 minutes, I think. And what I felt at the time was, well, she's making great music for someone who, I mean, you could say, she could rest on her laurels and maybe, do remixes or do your greatest hits tours, like you said, or do a duet or do a feature, which, I mean, she's feature queen now as well, isn't she? But not only is she featuring with everyone and working with really interesting people, but she also knows her bread and butter, because a lot of the gays love the Biff and Kylie combo, right? They just do, because together they have produced, well, not just Biff, but Duck, Blackwell, and all the people who work with Biff. They have produced some of the best Kylie songs ever. So when I saw the track listing and then I looked at the credits, I think the first 6 songs are Biff, aren't they? Pretty much, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a big Biff album.
There's a clutch on there, but then you see Biff all over you, so you hear Biff all over it. So that was a real nice surprise too. I mean, I know she'd worked with them on disco as well, but not as extensively. And then they weren't on Tension 2 at all, which was unusual, I found. But with Tension, we felt like you were at home, and I kind of almost, I didn't know what to expect from it. But when I heard it, I thought, yeah, this is she's given us what we wanted, even though we didn't really know we wanted it,
As you know, I always say, Alan, all hail Biff, and Biff could be all over me any day. Like, not a problem.
I think Biff knows that as well.
Did you tell him? I adore him.
No, well, I mean, he was fawning all over the place. I'm sure he's probably seen the podcast and thought, not that Garry. Bloody hell.
Love you, Biff. If you ever listen, imagine if Biff listens to this.
He might do.
Whining on.
Yeah, he might
whining on.
But I think I'm going to skip playing any clips, because we're really going to get into danger zone. There's nothing old we can play around Tension that we're not going to get copyrighted for. Let's be honest about it. So I think that was great with Matt talking there. And I just think, look, let me say one thing. Rhythm of Love, and I have to say this honestly, I know I chimed in a bit during your Rhythm of Love. I think it's fantastic, and it's very, very hard to get past how, I mean, those records are so good. I'm not cheating. I'm actually going to big you up, I think. It's so hard.
Anti-cheat.
It's so hard to get past the 4 songs on Rhythm of Love that have stood the test of time. I mean, clearly she's 57. We're not going to be talking in 35 years, any of us, are we? Going, it's been 35 years since Tension, and then maybe sitting here saying what to Padam is still being played after 35 years. Who knows? But in the moment right now, those first 4 songs on Rhythm of Love, it's so hard to get past them. But I think with the beauty of Tension is that it's for her to make an album with this quality and this caliber. And my niece knows who she is. And for me, that's a really good standing when you're 11. When you're 11 and you're like, yeah, I love Padam. That, for me, it just was a full circle moment.
There's an even younger generation, Alan, that are into Kylie. My friend Sive, she has 3 daughters, and one of them, her eldest, who I think is 4, is obsessed. And they're all obsessed, and they sing Padam in the car. So, like, it's out there.
I'm not surprised. I mean, Padam really was one of those songs that bridged the gaps. And with this one, for me, it's just about the fact that she still has maintained a 37-year career and is able to do what she did in the last 2 years is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's more than we could have wished for, because me and you, let's get to it. Let's put ourselves back there and think to ourselves, in 30 odd years, she'll be doing a world tour. You wouldn't have put money on it, would you? You wouldn't have put money on it.
Definitely not. I did watch the YouTube of Let's Get To It Live the other day again. It was just genius. But Alan, you did a really good sale, and I'm gonna back you up. Tension is a powerhouse album. I think out of all the battles so far, Elliot, you've really got to make a decision tonight. I think either decision you make, you're going to get cancelled. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah,
cool.
No, I think
what I strive
it's a
for.
tough job, Elliot, and I really honestly don't envy you tonight because I don't know what I would do. I'm very
come on,
nervous.
Rhythm of Love for the win. Rhythm of Love for the win. Come on, Elliot.
You managed to get your whole episode without cheating. No, pipe down now.
Tension for the win.
Yeah.
Rhythm of Love for the win. Go for the win.
I don't really know I don't know which one I want to win.
I think it's really interesting because basically it almost boils down to like they both are sort of kind of intrinsically tied to her touring life. Like Rhythm of Love, you've got songs that have pretty much been on her tour verbatim, and then Tension is what helped her basically break properly into America and be able to do the level of touring that she can. It's really tough. Like I think that I am really struggling right now.
This is worse than the X Factor. This, Alan.
This really is.
It's a tough one though. It's so tough.
I think that oh god, it's so fucking hard. I think it's just a hair. I'm splitting hairs right now with this. I'm gonna give it to Rhythm of Love, and I don't think I was gonna at the start. I think that as much as I liked Tension, I think I prefer the way that Rhythm of Love is.
I think you might have delivered just the biggest shock of this series so far, Elliot. I think everyone would have thought you were going Tension.
I just think it's really interesting, like because I think in my brain I was gonna go. It was gonna lean more Tension to begin with, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
So, Alan, you let Tension down, by the way, just saying.
I did.
The feedback there is you didn't do a good enough sale.
And I have to, and I apologize to Matt as well.
Matt's going to hate you. You were definitely getting cancelled. I know. But you made the right decisions.
I think, you know what, there's parallels between them. And I actually get Elliot, I think, good choice because Rhythm, I would have been really sad if it had gone. So, well played, Elliot. Now, I'm going to accept that knock on the chin because, you know, one of us had to lose, and it just happens to be me.
So, that's 2 weeks in a row I won again, by the way. Just going to get that right back at you, Alan. But, Elliot, wow, you just put tension, tension in the bin.
Shall we run through? So what's gone in the bin and what is left then for the next podcast?
Are you joking me that you just asked that question live, Alan? Like,
I know.
What I do have though, which I can share, is I did prepare 2 versions of the next wheel earlier on based on the outcome tonight. So I can show you what's in the semi-final. So is that good enough for you?
Go on. Let's have a look. Of course, Kylie, the Rhythm of Love, that's just come through today. And then Aphrodite. We also have Fever. And we, to round it out, have Light Years.
That's an interesting one.
I think, you know what? I think it went well. I think they might be the best 4 Kylie Minogue albums. I don't think anybody would disagree with us. Do you think?
I mean, that's strong words.
4 really great albums.
I don't think I'd have picked them 4 at the start.
I definitely would have had Fever in there, and I probably would have put Aphrodite in there. And then for the reason I say tonight, I thought Light Years is probably the only one maybe that I would swap out. But
I think that's interesting because Light Years is the one that absolutely that has to be in it. This is why this is the joyous process, because we're coming from different places. But Elliot, this is the semi-final, and what we've decided for the next episode is that we're actually going to spin now, aren't we? So that me and Alan know which album we have. So when we've been in dark holes before, we've always had to go in 2 dark holes, but now we can just go in a focused dark hole. We know what album we're going to get, and we're going to try and focus in round 3 to be slightly different on the promo campaign. So we've talked a lot about the touring, we've talked about the B-sides, we talked about the singles, but actually in round 3, we're going to talk a bit about the promo campaign that surrounded these albums, which again will kind of bring another layer Look at me being layered. Bring another layer into these albums for you, Elliot, to help you to make the decision, because you are ultimately going to be leading us towards. We've now set out loud the live final episode, if that ever happens, where we'll pick the final. One of these four will be the best Kylie album of all time.
Okay, let us flip the coin once more, and Garry, it's your turn to flip it.
Heads.
Oh God.
Heads.
Okay, it is tails.
For fuck's sake.
Tails.
I hate losing.
So we'll go with Alan first. Shall we spin?
Spin it, man.
Gosh,
just don't want to get rid of them again.
Says
yes,
oh
yes. Oh, you know what? This is great because I missed out to that one for you 2 weeks ago. Yeah, great. I'm happy with that. Aphrodite.
If you're not watching, Alan just got Aphrodite in the semi-final.
He did.
Damn you, Alan.
Delighted about that. Delighted.
And I guess my dark hole for the next week or so to go down is...
This is where it all goes wrong.
Yes, it's light years.
Oh.
Oh, this is going to be a battle, Lynch.
Wow.
This is going to be a battle.
Aphrodite versus
Light years. Down to the final four. Look, Elliot had to split hairs tonight for me to win, so you never know. What will you have to split next week? Pineapples?
Yep. Everything.
It'll be a tough one for sure. Yeah.
Splitting balls. Anyway,
that sounds about right.
Let's not go down that hole. Let's not go there. What a fun episode. Love you, boys.
Love you too, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Take care, everyone.
We'll see you next time. Bye.